I did give her $700 to have an abortion for a child that I thought we agreed she would not have. And I also want a paternity test to prove that it is in fact my child.
Well, you've already had the paternity test, and I have, all three of you agreed to the paternity test, and I have the results here. But, so you dated for over 3.5 years ago, or somewhere around that. You found out you were pregnant.
Correct.
All right. So it was a conscious decision of you both to have intercourse, sexual relations, knowing that she could get pregnant.
Yes.
Okay. So then she got pregnant and you discussed this, that you didn't want to have a child, or did you just not want to have a child? Explain.
So when we first met, I did tell her and let her know that I am not the fatherhood type. I do not want to be a family man. Mm-hmm. A child was out of the discussion for me.
Okay. So why didn't you use protection?
We didn't use protection because this wasn't something that we planned to have happen. This
but
was
you didn't
just
want
something
children, so why didn't you use protection?
Exactly.
Well, when we were saying our final goodbyes, we did our little goodbye ritual, and at that point it wasn't really planned, and this kind of just happened.
What happened after you had the goodbye meeting?
So around 2 months later, about 6 weeks, she gave me a call, and she told me that she was in fact pregnant. Mm-hmm. And the math was adding up, it was around that time frame. So, I spoke to her and I told her that, look, we already talked about this. I told you beforehand when we first met, when we were first dating, I don't want a child. So I said, I can give you $700 to go ahead and take care of this.
Okay. Just to handle it in your own words, right?
Exactly.
You told her just to handle it. And what did she say to you when you said, because it sounds like it was really your idea. There was really no discussion. So you said to her, Mr. Owens, Teresa, here is $700, just handle it. So it was really your decision, you telling her what to do.
So when we called, she told me what happened, and I told her, look, I don't want this.
I understand that, but it sounds like you said, okay, after doing some research, you must have called her back and said, okay, here's $700 and handle it. So it was really your decision to give her the $700.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever expect her to give you the $700 back?
No, if she took care of it, then I wouldn't have needed the money
back. But so was there a condition there that if she did not get an abortion, she had to return the money back?
No.
Okay.
That was not stated.
So essentially it was like, I'm giving you this to you, just handle it.
Yes, but it was not a gift.
Well, you just said that if she didn't get an abortion, you didn't expect to get it back. If she did not. So she would have still kept the $700, right?
Yes.
Assuming she did get she did not get the abortion, you wouldn't have asked for it back. Either way, it sounds to me like you were just giving her $700 to handle it. Did you ever follow up with her after you gave her the $700?
I did not. As far as I was concerned, the responsibility was mine and for paying for the procedure, and the responsibility was hers for taking care of the procedure.
So you never spoke to her again?
No, she was very upset when we spoke, and that was the last time we spoke at all.
So, and this is the first time you've seen her, I understand, in almost 3.5 years?
That is correct.
Okay. So why all of a sudden the interest?
Well, I'm interested because if the child is mine, then it is in fact my responsibility.
No.
So then you're not suing for the $700 back. Or, I mean, you legally are. But are you telling me that you found out that she has a child and you think it's yours?
So I believe the child is mine based on the fact that when I did meet a mutual friend of ours and she told me that Teresa was having a birthday party for her 3-year-old son, that the math was adding up, that was the same child that we spoke about, that I was under the impression we were getting an abortion for.
Got it.
So if she did not get that abortion, then that $700 was not used for an abortion, which in case should be given back to me, and I would like a paternity test proving that I am the father.
He could express what he wanted, and she could hear it. But once the pregnancy existed, they no longer had equal control over the outcome. That imbalance often creates resentment because one person has to live with a decision that they can't ultimately make. One thing that really stood out to me here is that he is asking for a DNA test before he's asking for forgiveness. If the child is his, he's already missed 3 years. I would expect someone who truly regrets that to first talk about the child, the lost time, or trying to make things right. Instead, the first thing he's asking for is proof. That doesn't make him wrong, but it does tell me that he values certainty over emotion. And people love certainty until life proves them wrong. At 25, 30, even 35, people say, I never want kids. But then life changes. People mature, relationships change, priorities change. So the question isn't whether he changed his mind. It's whether changing his mind should change someone else's life 3 years later. Let's get back.
Mrs. Brooks, explain to me what happened. So is everything that Mr. Owens has said today true? You dated, he told you he didn't want children, you broke up, you guys had, intimate relations when you broke up.
Correct.
And you called him because you thought it was his child?
I was worried at the time. I was completely transparent with him, as well as my loving husband, Bryce, that I was unsure of who the father was.
Were you dating Bryce at the same time when you broke up with him?
It was shortly after. So the same week that we ended things and we had our farewell interaction, I met Bryce just a couple days later, and we did also have intercourse that week. So that's why I was unsure. I was completely transparent with him when I called him that I wanted to have my child. He knew this. He knew I always wanted children. I was very adamant about it.
And you knew I didn't want any.
And it's not just his choice, Your Honor. Like, he sent me this money to get rid of me. He wanted me to go away. I was trying to reach out. I tried to call him, text him. He stopped responding to me. He thought I could just pay you off and now you go away.
You had to handle it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to have the child, why take this? Just out of curiosity, why take the $700?
Honestly, I was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen next. I wasn't completely certain that this kid was going to come into fruition because at the time I was frazzled. I hadn't yet told Bryce the news, and I had no idea that he would be so committed to me and be so ready to father a child with me. Like, I was so scared. And so I took the money not knowing what was going to happen next. I thought maybe I would.
Let me just get this straight. So you broke up with him. You had sexual relations with Mr. Owens. A few days later, you had sexual relationship with your now husband. When you called Mr. Owens, you told him you were pregnant, but did you tell him that you had no idea if it was his or somebody else's?
I told him that it could be his. I wasn't certain. Yes.
Do you remember her saying that it could be yours, Mr. Owens, or you said it could, or it is yours?
No, she said it could be mine.
Okay, got it. So it could be. So you knew that it could not be yours, and you still decided to give her $700.
Yes,
okay.
I wanted to get a paternity
test. And then
test.
had was money. He never had the will to be a father.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
he gave you the $700 just to handle it, and what happened then?
After receiving the money, I talked to my friends and family who all told me that I would be a great mother. I too have always wanted to be a mom. Like, I knew that this time would come. I turned to Bryce and I was so thankful to have him when I let him know the situation. He was so transparent with me. He didn't want to get a paternity test. He wanted to accept me and our child as his own. And that's where we went from there.
Okay. And Mr. Brooks, are you on, what is your son's name?
Jackson.
Jackson, okay. Are you on Jackson's birth certificate?
Yes.
As the father?
Yes.
Okay, so when she gave birth to Jackson, you knew the possibility that potentially Jackson could not be yours?
Yes.
And you didn't care?
Yeah, that didn't matter to me at all.
Okay.
What kind of man don't care about whether or not
real man.
A man who's willing to step up and raise a child.
Okay. So you were okay with that, right?
Yeah, of course I was.
It didn't really matter to you.
Of course not.
If it was yours, if it was not. So you had the baby's on your name's on Jackson's birth certificate.
Correct.
What happened next, Teresa?
From there, honestly, everything got better.
So did you try to get in touch with Mr. Owens at all after the child was born?
After
Jackson was born,
he made it very clear he wanted nothing to do with me or my child. Like, I reached out. He stopped responding to me. I tried to follow up with him. He never said anything. After he sent me the funds, he thought that was it, that he got the final say-so.
All right. So you said, okay, I tried and whatever. And he just didn't respond.
No.
All right. So then you're raising Jackson. You two are raising Jackson. Did you guys get married before Jackson was born or after Jackson was born?
It was just shortly after.
Shortly after.
Yeah.
Okay. But when Jackson was born, you two were not legally married, but still you're on the birth certificate. Okay. I just want to understand.
Correct.
All right. Fast forward 3 years later, you get this lawsuit.
Exactly. I was getting ready to celebrate Jackson's 3rd birthday. Everything was perfect. I've never been happier in my life, to be honest, Your Honor. I think he's just petty, low, miserable, has nothing going for himself, finally realizing that the best thing that ever was in his life is completely out of it. Comes knocking on my door, not literally, he called me, but he comes around trying to ask me, we're getting a paternity test, where's my $700? And I'm like, this is so out of the blue. This is so done and in the past. I know who Jackson's father is. I know who's been there for Jackson since the day he was born.
I understand.
And at this point, paternity don't matter.
It absolutely does.
It doesn't matter.
I understand what you're saying. And I understand that's coming from the heart and from reality because you were clear. You wanted nothing to do with it. You basically dropped her. You didn't care. If you even cared, you could have followed up, right? Exactly. Hence, this is why we have this problem because you knew it could be yours. It could be yours, right? So I'm just trying to put myself in her position. If you completely drop out of the picture and I'm unsure if it's yours or my now husband's, I maybe would probably leave it alone if my now husband didn't care either way. But to give it to him legally and just to be just very blunt about facts, not, obviously we can't look at emotion. If it is his child, Mr. Owen's child, he has a right to know.
One man made a commitment without certainty, and one man wants certainty before commitment. That's a fascinating difference, isn't it? Some people need proof before they'll invest. Other people invest first and let the proof come later. Neither approach guarantees a good outcome, but they do reveal very different ways of how people approach relationships. I think uncertainty is a good life test because it's during uncertainty where people reveal their character. Uncertainty acts like a magnifying glass. It doesn't create the character, it exposes it, brings it up real close. Cases like this make me ponder relationships. Sometimes the biggest decision isn't whether to stay or go. It's whether to leave the door open for that person. Burning a bridge feels permanent, but life has a way of changing people. Before you close a door forever, ask yourself whether you still feel the same way 5 years from now. Every choice in this case happened in a matter of days, but the consequences last for decades. That's why the biggest decisions in life deserve to be thought out. Let's get back.
First of all, there's no agreement because under the small claims court, that's the only thing I can really handle is the small claims court. I do not find that there was a valid contract. It was nothing. It was just here, $700, you handle it. That was it. That's not even a contract. That's just like, here, literally. Take $700, handle it. Do whatever you want with it. Handle it. Okay? You're smart enough to know that. And I know why you are here because you want to know if this child is yours and you two were in agreement to find out for once and for all who who Jackson's father
Correct.
is.
But
right?
regardless of the paternity, this is Jackson's father.
Yeah, I don't care what the
I understand.
says.
I understand.
He can be a father, but he ain't the father if it's my child.
Mr. Owens, let's not get ahead of the game. Let's find out, first of all, if you guys are ready, let's find out who Jackson's father is because if you're not the father, then this ends. If you are the father, there's a lot of adjustment to do. But it's time to act and put Jackson before any of us. Okay?
Okay.
So let's see. .9% probability of paternity is Mr. Owens.
It doesn't matter. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't even listen to it. It's okay.
Well, it looks like I'm the father.
Why don't you be quiet for a minute?
Mr. Owens,
please.
I think all of you need to calm down and relax. This is not a competition. This is not a competition.
It's not your fault.
Well, if you did what you were supposed to do, we wouldn't be here, would we?
Mr.
And
Owens.
Jackson wouldn't be here either, right?
Oh my goodness, Mr. Owens.
Could have been avoided.
Okay.
Mr. Owens. That is not only cruel, it's heartless. What kind of father are you going to be? Is that the story you're going to want to tell Jackson? I gave your mother $700 to get rid of you, and now I have to take care of you because I am the father? Is that the legacy you want to leave behind for your child?
No, but he is going to know the truth.
He's going to know the truth that what? That you told his mom to get an abortion? And I didn't want you, Jackson? So, but now I have to have you, Mr. Brooks. Can you please?
He's going to know the truth that, look, I did not want you, but I am here because responsibility is important. And that's the truth he's going to know. Okay. And that his mother did not want me to be a part of his life.
I don't think she did not want to be part of this life. I think that you were just happy to get rid of her. So listen, we will transfer this case, the transcript, to whatever family court. You guys will get a copy, official copy of the DNA report. And I just wish you guys a lot of luck. Mr. and Mrs. Brooks, be positive. You have a little boy who's always going to know, who his mom and dad are. But you're going to have to, not reluctantly, in a way, make room for another father or another father figure. Or if Mr. Owens decides to have a relationship with Jackson that is more of a friend or a mentor, you're going to have to accept that because he has parental rights, unless you deem and a court deems that he's not fit to do so. And that's something that you're going to have to get some legal help and figure that out, okay? But the one thing I do know, you cannot enter this with anxiety and animosity. You just can't. Your life is not going to change. I don't know if Mr. Owens is going to want custody, partial custody, to hang out with me on the weekends. I want to have him every other week. I don't know if that's what he's going to want. But for right now, your job is to love your son. And that's it. So based on the evidence, I will deny the plaintiff's claim for $700.
Good.
And I strongly suggest that you both get yourself some legal help to try to sort this family issue out, okay? And Mr. Owens, having a child is the greatest gift you'll ever have in your life. If you don't really want to be a father, leave him alone.
Please don't mess up my child. That's all.
Okay? That's it.
I'm going to be there for him.
Okay, well, that's good. But do it because you want to, not because it's an obligation. Understand? There's a difference.
I understand.
He decided to be this boy's father, not because there was a legal obligation at all. It's because he wanted to. See the difference? And you have a lot to be grateful that Mr. Brooks has been there for your son for 3 years. 3 years, a very positive example.
You're the best dad I could ask for.
Good luck to you all.
What amazes me is how this case stopped being about the child and how it started being about both sides trying to prove each other wrong. A child doesn't need to hear who wanted them, who didn't want them, who changed their mind. They need adults who are emotionally mature enough to put their own hurt aside. Biology can make you a parent, but emotional maturity is what determines if you are a safe one. And that brings us to our big life lesson. Children should never carry the emotional weight of adult decisions. If you choose to step into a child's life, bring healing instead of resentment. Now my final question for you. If you were in the husband's shoes, how would you feel watching someone come back after 3 years? Let me know your answers. Put them in the comments below. Then make sure to like, follow, and share. And I will see you again soon.